5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are on. Hi, everybody. This is week number 2 of January.
Yeah.
2025.
This is our second show of the year.
Crazy. Time is already flying.
And we're all together.
We are all together.
You are back safe and sound?
The gang is back. Yeah, I'm feeling a little better. Still, like, this cold. And then, obviously, I've had a cough. And then the air quality in LA has not been great because of all these fires, which, first and foremost, if there's any of you out there that are a part of our little family and you've been affected by the fires, please let us know. It has been just devastating here in LA the past couple weeks. So
certainly in the hills of LA, the people that are really in the flats and the concrete, areas have not really been affected. No. But the people that are living in the hills and coming out of where there's bush,
Altadena, Pasadena, the Eaton fire, everyone affected by the Palisades fire up in, the Palisades, Malibu. I mean, it is truly devastating.
And I witnessed a lot of the people that were hit the other evening.
Everyone knows someone that's been affected. My friend Grayson, who has been on a 2 Hot Takes episode in the past, lost his house. Mm-hmm. My guy, Miguel, who helps with my horses, lost his house. So everyone here in LA knows someone that has been affected.
And I think and I also believe the counts are going to get a lot worse when we really get down to hear the numbers.
Yeah, so. It's really, really sad. So, I know a lot of you guys out there have asked, I've gotten messages at least, like how to help. And there's so many different ways to donate. We are putting together a list, kind of like an angel tree, but we were going to do it in January. And so it's kind of good timing that we're doing that. So if you've been affected, please go post your stuff on that. Last I checked, there was already 350 submissions. So there's a lot of people in our own community, in our own backyard that need help and need support. So if you want to give, check out their wish list.
And you and Justin have really been a part of the community here in Burbank because you guys have been at the Equestrian Center every night and day working over there.
Yeah, they've got a lot of volunteers, but one of the first nights, we've literally met every single horse, I don't know if there's 300 there or whatever there is, large animals that got rescued, but we watered every single one basically. So we're thinking of everyone that's been affected. There's still people in North Carolina that are still struggling from, the hurricanes and natural disaster there. There's just a lot going on. So we're hoping that this will be a nice escape today as we get into this episode. But, please fill out the form and just know we're sending love to everyone.
Do you have a theme for today?
We do.
Can you inform the Podfather?
For those that are listening, my dad is wearing a t-shirt that says the Podfather.
Yeah, a Christmas gift from a friend of mine, but I thought it was perfect.
That's good.
That is perfect, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you got your Quince sweater on.
I do.
Yeah, look at you.
Right around my little necky.
Nice. What's the theme today?
Theme today overall is girl code, but we're calling it girl, guy code, whatever. All code.
Bro code, girl
the
code.
The code.
I love the code. Number one.
Hi, Father Knows Something. Huge fan of both FKS and THT.
Woo.
When you mentioned an upcoming topic on girl code, I knew I had to share this story. It involves 3 people: Katie, my best friend of 8 years, her ex, Liam, and my old roommate, Ashley. Katie and I met in college and were inseparable. We called ourselves soulmates. However, last year, our friendship became toxic, and we distanced ourselves for about 6 months. We later reconnected, worked through our differences, and rebuilt our friendship. Katie started dating Liam a few years into our friendship, and he became a close friend as well. They were together for 6 years, but broke up last August. The breakup was a disaster, messy, emotional, toxic. They lived together, shared pets, and some finances, so it was an incredibly difficult time. Katie ended up moving back to her parents' house 5 hours away after she lost her job due to the toll it took on her. Ashley and I met 3 years ago and became roommates soon after, but we no longer live together. During that time, she witnessed my fallout with Katie and even tried to help us reconcile, which I appreciated. When Katie and I reconnected, Ashley helped her get a job at her company, the one Katie lost during the breakup. Here's where it gets complicated. Katie and I had another falling out recently because she accused me of things with Liam and blamed my boyfriend for sharing personal information about her. Parenthesis, which did not happen. I think she was just looking for someone to blame for her emotions. We haven't spoken since. A few weeks ago, Ashley and I met for dinner and she dropped a bombshell I was not expecting. She and Liam are now dating. I was stunned. Although my relationship with Katie is strained, I feel this crosses a line. I told Ashley that I couldn't support her relationship with Liam as it feels like a betrayal to Katie and would deeply hurt her. Ashley and I haven't spoken about it or seen each other since. Ashley and I share a large group of friends, and so far only one person has asked me about the situation, but I'm well aware they all know. I've heard through the grapevine that some friends are siding with Ashley, even though I've never asked anyone to take sides. I don't think most of them truly understand my perspective, especially since many don't know Katie or have only met her once or twice. All I told Ashley was that I don't want to be around her and Liam together. That's it. I haven't spoken to Katie and I have no idea if she knows about this. I'm torn about whether I should reach out to her, which has left me feeling pretty stuck. It seems like no one truly understands my perspective. While I have strong feelings about where I stand, some people make me feel like I'm being overly emotional or difficult about the situation. Ideal outcome. I'm not entirely sure what I want the outcome to be. I just want to handle this in the best way possible and ensure Katie knows I'm not involved in any of this, whether she has already found out or finds out later. While I don't think it's anyone's business to begin with, I'd still like people to understand my perspective.
So let me try to understand this correctly. She wants Liam and to be in a relationship or not with anybody, but certainly not because, or maybe even go back to Katie because she feels she would like Liam to really live with someone who he's really not in love with. Rather than just release the anger for everybody and just realize that this couple didn't work out. And if he finds someone to work out with, let him go be with the person that he's really supposed to be with. We don't know what connects different people with different people, but I've always said for as long as I can remember, back when my teens, all bets are off until you say I do. And the fact that they didn't say I do was Liam recognized he wasn't the right one for Katie. So anyone that's going to have this anger to Liam or try to isolate him from that relationship is really saying, we really want you to be with the wrong person. And I don't
think our writer is saying, I want Liam to be with Katie.
He's just saying, I don't want Liam to be with anybody else that's connected with us.
And I think that, that's somewhat fair. I mean, Liam and Katie dated for 6 years.
Right.
They almost acted as a married couple, having
they almost got married
and finances and all of these things. That would be like me and Justin breaking up today and one of my friends dating him a couple months later.
Are you guys friends?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I want one of my friends to date what I thought, if we split, what I thought was the love of my life. I understand where our writer is coming from and being very torn. And even though I'm not on the best terms with Katie right now, this doesn't feel great. I fully understand where you're coming from. I think it's hard because I would like to know how close Katie and Ashley actually are.
Mm-hmm.
Based on this, I don't get the vibe that they're, as close of friends.
But this is an opportunity they can be friends by really supporting one another as a friend moving on and going forward and say, you dodged a bullet. You were with a guy that for whatever reasons for 6 years you were together, you're free. Now go take the energy and put it into somebody that's going to really be meaningful to you and maybe be your person, and quit wasting that energy on this other individual.
And then I'm like, well, why were they so toxic? Was there abuse involved? Like, what did that relationship look like? Because I find it interesting. Ashley would even want to go down that road if she observed such a bad relationship. But, we don't know why it was toxic. There's a lot of context here. I think if this were me in your shoes, do you plan on being friends with Katie again? Because it sounds like your relationship with her isn't healthy. You said yourself it's toxic at certain points. So I think you need to ask yourself, like, is Katie someone you even want to be friends with? Is that a healthy friendship for you? And if you answer no, then I would just let Ashley do her thing and not try to dictate what happens there, because Katie is irrelevant. However, if your answer is yes, Katie's my oldest friend, I'd like to get on good terms again, I would go to Katie and I would just say, hey, out of respect, I'm not sure if you know this, so I would like to tell you, Ashley and Liam are starting to see each other. I'm not supportive of the relationship out of respect for you. Just so you know, there's nothing else I can do. Ashley's an adult. Liam's an adult. You guys are obviously very done.
What happens if she is friends with Ashley and Liam? Doesn't she, as a friend, not Katie,
Our writer,
the writer, OP, doesn't she have an obligation of trying to support people that might be the right couple because these people were the wrong couple? Can't she just say, look, I recognize your love, but it wasn't the right relationship, and they may find out they're wrong too, but let them figure that one out on their own. Why are we trying to control everyone's dynamics?
It really depends who you want to have a relationship with going forward, because you basically, in that sense, you have to choose a side.
Really?
Yep.
You can't say, I'm your friend and I want to see you and I want to be a part of you finding the right person.
I mean, I think in La La Land, yeah, like in a fairy tale, sure.
Really?
But in the real world, you will end up choosing a side, and I think you'll be ostracized from the other.
Yeah, I think in most people's minds, dating your friend's ex is disrespectful. It's just for a lot of people.
What about her being friends with her? I mean, here, look.
Our writer has said, I am friends with you, Ashley. I just don't want to be around you and Liam together. And that's a fair boundary. I mean, Katie and her were best friends for however long, years and years and years. And that's fair. Like, I find it weird when people go after their friends' exes. I think there are so many people out there. Find a different one. But clearly there's some connection, and Ashley is entitled to pursue that. She has clearly said whatever relationship she had with Katie is not worth keeping. She would rather pursue Liam. And, maybe Katie would pipe in here and be like, you know what? I'm over all of it. I don't care what they do. We don't have that side. For our writer, how I said I would address it is how I would address it. And, you really have to ask yourself who you want to maintain your friendship with. And
you can kind of step back.
Yeah.
You can kind of see how it plays out. You don't necessarily have to take an active role. You can be more on the backside, just doing your thing, living your life. And if everything all blows up, it's like, oh, I don't know. Like, can someone really fault you? I think you can be faulted if you don't tell someone that you're really close with, like, hey, blah, blah, blah's cheating on you. Like, I think that is an obligation to insert yourself sometimes.
But there's no cheating here. This
no,
isn't
I know,
cheating.
But I'm just saying
if
that's like an example of a point where you really, I think sometimes do have an obligation to step up and be a good person.
Yeah.
In this case, I think you can just kind of be on the outside a little, but it really goes back to who you want to be loyal to and who you want to have a relationship with going forward. Otherwise, just kind of let it all play out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know how this didn't click in my head a little sooner. I've actually been through this exact situation. One of my best friends had an ex-boyfriend, and we did like a group trip, and her ex-boyfriend's friend met and really connected with another one of our friends.
Her ex-boyfriend's friend
Yep.
connected with another friend.
Yep. So not she didn't go after the ex.
And this was a problem.
So they started dating. And because, our other friend was dating this guy who is good friends with the other friend's ex, the ex started coming around. And so one of the other girls was hanging out in this group of, 4 people and started to develop feelings for our friend's ex. And it caused a big rift in our friend group. Huge. And you had some people like myself who thought it was scummy. And I knew that people were lying to my friend about it. And I was like, just come clean. Like, say if you're dating the ex, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest and come clean. And so she found out, and I was just like, that's kind of scummy, whatever. And I kind of made my choice of who I was going to support based on how I felt about it. And we had a lot of other friends in the group because we've got a big group of girls. And a lot of others just said, I'm not getting involved. I'm playing Switzerland. And guess what? They ended up breaking up. The girl who was upset about her friend dating her ex got over it. And I was kind of on the outside like, well, why did I defend you when you're friends with her? Like,
Switzerland, baby. Switzerland. I love that one.
Sometimes it just pays, and I don't have a term for it, I guess, but like sometimes it's best to just not get involved and just say that. Like, hey, I just want you to know, because I have respect for you and our friendship, Ashley is dating Liam. I'm not getting involved. I feel I'm above this. I don't want any drama, but I, out of respect for you, thought you should know.
That's cool.
And I love you, but
and out of respect for me, you didn't hear it from me. Like, if you really don't want to be involved, you got to ask also to not be involved at the same time. Of like, I didn't tell you, but now.
I mean, it's a small world. People are going to find out.
I mean, I look at I dated Carla. She broke up, or we broke up. She met a guy. I invited the guy into my home and said,
not everyone is you,
on the show,
though.
we found this out. You're a rare breed.
You're a rare breed.
You're not the norm.
No, not a lot of people are like that.
But because I love her as a friend, I wanted to see her happy with the right person.
Yeah, but not everyone can get past that. I mean, there's so many people out there that would never be friends again.
Look at the divorces that
happen.
happened. Look at the breakups that happen, where people are literally, people go as far as
murder.
Yeah.
I hear you. I'm listening to what you're saying, but I have to tell you, I really, only from my own personal experience, I always say, let the people that are involved find their happiness, and best of luck to them. And if they don't work out, oh well. If they do, oh well.
Hey, if we could put you in a carbon cloner or whatever and make 1 million of you, the world might be a much smoother, happier place.
Happier place.
Yes.
Well, I like Switzerland. I thought
as far as relationships go, at least.
Yes, I love the idea of Switzerland. So that's where I'm going to stay. Is let everyone work on their own thing, and everyone has to go do what they feel is best for them. But
yeah, and I would say, like, sometimes in life we need to be reminded not every battle is ours to fight.
Yeah,
this really has nothing to do with you. This has everything to do with Ashley choosing Liam over Katie, because it sounds like they were friends at least in some regard.
But it sounds like that they connected after the breakup. It had nothing that Liam.
It's
it
irrelevant,
appears,
though.
It appeared right. Well,
it's
I do believe it's
She's
irrelevant.
still dating her ex, and I personally think there's many more people out there. I find it scummy. I don't think, whether it's girl code or whatever, like, if you're friends with someone, why are you going after their ex?
All right, so let me ask you a question. Let's imagine Liam and Ashley end up getting married. They really find out they're the happiest couple in the world. They go the next distance of 80 years.
Then our writer
Then
is going to have to support the relationship. Otherwise, Ashley's not going to be your friend.
Right.
I wouldn't want to be friends with someone who didn't support me in my relationship after I've proven it's good.
Well, if the two people who end up working out took that risk. They assumed the risk from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If they end up being right, then great. But if they don't, then everything blew up. So it's their risk to take.
Time will tell. But moving along. Number 2.
I want to hear number 2.
Regarding girl code, it only applies if she's a good friend. When I transferred colleges at 19, I wasn't the best at making new friends. So it was a relief to be invited into a friend group via my outgoing classmate, fake named Candace. She seemed to welcome anyone and everyone with open arms. So it took me a while for me to notice that she treated people like possessions and toys for her own amusement. As I was realizing this, I also started to develop feelings for the guy she was dating, David. He's also been drawn into the friend group, and I put a lot of effort into maintaining a respectful relationship with him while falling hard. After I learned Candace had cheated on David, not just the one time he had forgiven, but twice, I realized I didn't want to stay in her orbit and planned to confront her about telling the truth about her most recent infidelity. Before I could, however, they broke up for unrelated reasons, and he wound up asking me out shortly after. I said yes, but we needed to take things slow so he could heal and we could decide what to do about the rest of the friend dynamics. He said he didn't want to maintain a friendship with Candace, so I let her and those who supported her cheating go. 8 years later, I married David, and we just celebrated our 4th anniversary. I wasn't going to let the girl code take away the love of my life, and certainly not out of a loyalty to a bad friend.
Good story.
And that could be Katie and Ashley.
Could be.
And our writer.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
But see,
how
it's
play
said in
out.
here, you're assuming I have to let all those people go.
Yep.
The thing you're talking about where, oh, I get to make this choice, date someone's ex, we end up
Kumbaya.
like winning, essentially, right? We are right. We get married. We live happily ever after.
And we're still besties.
And we're best friends with all this is extremely rare.
And I don't know
This
if it's
worked
healthy
out.
even.
Yes, this worked out, but they even mentioned we had to leave all that. We assumed we were going to have to forget all those people. Fortunately for them, they were not close, good friends.
Right.
It gets really tricky when it's like, oh my God, I'm absolutely in love with this person. They could be the love of my life. And I'm still really close with all these friends and don't want to lose them.
That's the whole point. I would love to see their friends saying, you know something? I understand your dynamics, but we want everyone to really be with the right person. And this couple here were the wrong couple. End of story. Pulled over for the ticket. The cop said, we're letting you go with a warning. Guys, go your own direction. And if you can maintain a friendship, great. But let the relationship and the control of their lives go. You don't have control.
I get it.
And I don't like you using the word control because I don't know if it's about control. I genuinely think there's just, if you are really good friends with someone and you go after their ex.
I didn't say go after their ex.
That's what I'm saying. Because I think you're saying control, and I recognize we're giving this a lot of airtime, probably too much. But I find it disrespectful. If Lauren or Alejandra or any one of my friends pursued Justin after
a year later.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I think it's disrespectful.
Okay.
One, because then there's some element that you would have to interact with me. As one of your close friends dates me, it's like, would I then not come to any event? You know what I mean? So it gets really messy.
So let me ask you
just
this
sour.
question. So here's the question. What happens if when you guys break up, you guys say, look, we understand we didn't work out. And can we be responsible going forward, even though we cared for each other greatly and we want to see good things for one another? Can the couple be mature enough to say, hey, I really want to see the best for that person, even though
Absolutely, but it's not with one of my best friends. Go travel.
Just like
Go
the top
meet
says
someone.
here. Regarding girl code, it only applies if she's a good friend.
Yeah, like if me and Justin had kids and divorced, 20 years down the line and had new partners, I would do joint Christmases still. Like that's fine. And
We're really manifesting all this.
No, but I'm just like, you I don't know, my brain works best thinking 20 steps ahead. But like if he was then with like one of my best friends, fuck no.
Right.
No. Like it's just
So
It's
like
a line for me. I
so-
don't know.
So like with your mom and I maintained Christmases afterwards. She may have seen some other people and they came to the house and I was always cordial.
Mhm.
But because they weren't my friend, it was okay. But if Dan, for instance, was my friend, that would have been
I think it's weird. I personally think it's weird. I want to hear everyone's comments.
We
I
need to
wanna
have
hear
a poll
your
or something.
takes. We can do a poll,
We
but
need something.
definitely want comments.
let's keep going through these stories.
Number 3.
One of this week's partners is Hungry Root. As you guys know, I don't really love spending time in the kitchen. Meal planning and then grocery shopping and spending hours cooking, it can just get to be a lot, especially when you're busy and still trying to eat healthy. But Hungry Root changes that. Hungry Root is like having your personal shopper and nutritionist all wrapped into one. A lot of the recipes can actually be made in just 15 minutes or less. And there's over 15,000 recipes shipped each week. Talk about variety. You're never gonna get sick of what Hungry Root is offering. I myself have loved how customizable Hungry Root's meal plans are. Justin's dairy-free. I try to stay away from red meats. And there's no high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, or preservatives in any of their food. You're gonna love Hungry Root as much as I do. Take advantage of this exclusive offer. For a limited time, get 40% off your first box. Plus, get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/FKS. Code FKS to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/FKS. Code FKS. What number?
We're going on 3 now.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Hi, FKS fam. I've been a listener of both podcasts for a while now, but I've never had anything to write in about. Now, I do have a girl code dilemma, and I need some advice. I'll preface this by saying that I can count the number of crushes I've ever had on one hand. I'm 22. There never came anything of them, partially because of me never acting on them. I am neurodivergent and very awkward. This issue has to do with a guy I've recently developed a crush on. He is my coworker. I know coworkers aren't the best people to like because of obvious reasons, but he is also a very nice guy who shares my beliefs. I've had a secret crush on him for a while, but I've never initiated any conversations because I never found the right moment to do so. Also, because I am a coward, let's face it. Obviously, I didn't tell anyone. Fast forward to a few weeks ago. I found out that one of my coworkers likes him too. This girl and I get along pretty well. We are not friends or anything, but we are good coworkers to each other. She was the one who told me of her crush, meaning she trusted me with this information. I obviously pretended that my heart didn't sink at the news. She is as shy as I am, but has taken bigger steps towards talking to this guy. So I knew from the start that I had to back off, and I did. I encouraged her to talk to him more often and to find ways to be close with him because I saw how excited she was when she was talking about him. It was cute to see, honestly, and it kind of pushed aside the feelings of hurt. But that did not last long. I was trying to pretend I was fine when actually I was really disappointed and let down by this whole situation. And I shouldn't be, really, because it's not like I've made any moves towards this guy. But now I can't help but feel sad. Even if, by any chance, this guy seems interested in me, I cannot accept that since I am aware of the crush my coworker has on him. It would feel really disgusting of me, to be honest. And I guess having that path blocked, whether I chose to take it or not, did do a number on me. It's as if a child hates broccoli and his parents take away the possibility of him finding a piece of broccoli in his food by never placing it in there in the first place. The kid probably wouldn't have eaten it anyways, but maybe would have liked that to be his choice. I don't know if I explained it correctly. I'm not good with analogies.
I got the analogy.
Ideal outcome would be learning what to do in these types of situations. I know I'll get over this crush eventually, but what can I do? And many other people in my situation, maybe I'll help them learn. What is best when there's a girl code involved? Do you ignore the feelings until they go away, or do you act on them?
Well, I'm sure there are going to be people that are going to disagree with me, but in the very beginning, I think that you should have really said to her, you know, something that's really awkward. We both like him. maybe we just need to let him see what he does, and I'll come clean with him, and you come clean with him. Tell him that that you like him, and nobody owns this guy. The guy didn't have a chance to make his own choice, and now that you were so graceful in yielding, now that you think the girl code comes in and says, "Well, I yielded. She went out with him. I can never go out with him." That's my whole point. My whole point to this whole thing. Let him make the choice. Be honest. Be direct with everybody openly. And that, I always find that openness solves the problem. It's when people don't disclose, their problem shows up. Now, that's my opinion. I'm going to be quiet, but I'm sure everyone in the world is going to have comments on this.
Everyone?
I think you got to fight for it. Kind of like any animals do in the wild. They fight to win that mate.
To death.
Just as we all do. Except, you generally don't know you're competing with someone for someone.
But we're not competing.
So it's like, I didn't realize I was competing for Morgan at the time. I was just trying to, have a good thing develop between us. But I didn't realize that I was like in the gladiator ring about to get my head chopped off by someone else with a sword.
Oh my God, no.
And it also
won.
You make it seem so ugly.
Well, it also
so bloody.
It also reminds me of the time when I matched with two girls on Hinge that were really good friends. And I matched with both of them.
It happened to me
separately.
Wow.
And I didn't end up making the decision. They did. They said, "Oh, you take him." And so, so I,
feels like a steak.
Exactly.
You're gonna have the steak.
So, but the hardest part of this for me is going forward forever with the what if. And I know I bring that up a lot on this show, but it really is what will eat away at you over time. So you have two options.
Okay.
Because forgetting about it isn't one. Okay.
I'm with you.
We're erasing that.
I'm with you.
Option one, start making moves of your own to try and talk to this guy. See if you even like him.
Yeah.
Because when you meet someone in a workplace, you're interacting on workplace stuff, not necessarily personal things. I mean, some of it bleeds in, but anytime I've worked at a place with people, it's very surface level. You don't get to see the ins and outs of them. Like, what if you go to his place and he's just got a bunch of weird shit everywhere and he's like a hoarder or something?
Who people are at work isn't really
you don't really know him. So try to get to know him to see if you are even losing.
I got a question. But before she goes to him and gets into this battle, I think it's not a bad idea to go to the actual other girl and say, something, I made a mistake by really saying something to you that I really want to be clear with.
I don't think it's that serious.
And just say, look, I'm not trying to stab you in the back. I don't want to have anything, but I really did like him too. And I want to be able to let him make the choice. And I'm not trying to compete with you. We want to make sure that the right person ends up with this person. I may not be his person. You may not be his person. You may be his person. I may be his person. But we have to really let it take its course.
The world doesn't work that way, though.
Why not?
You're making it too big of a deal.
And that's the thing.
Well, then she's going to turn around and say,
no, the reality here is
you bitch.
This other girl hasn't asked him out. He has not asked out either of them. It's unclear if our writer has even really talked to him, because the line here.
I thought the other girl has actually made a move.
The other girl has made steps towards talking to this guy. I encouraged her to talk to him more often and find ways to be close to him. I don't think either of them are making their feelings very clear towards this guy or saying, hey, let's grab a drink sometime. This has gotten goofy. I hate when people, and this is such a movie trope, and I don't know when we're going to stop doing it. Don't ever feel the need to bow out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I know what you mean.
I'm going to do you a favor because you're my friend and you can have him. Quit doing that, people.
Raw.
This isn't girl code. You're coworkers. You get along pretty well, but you're not friends or anything. You say that right here. We are not friends or anything, but we are good coworkers to each other. Why are you going to let your coworker stop you from maybe being with your husband?
Yeah.
Come on. Why are you like trying to fall on your sword? Like, talk to him, ask him out. You guys are coworkers. You could get a new job. You could be in college still, and this is a college job. Who knows? I don't know where you're at, but this is not that serious. I don't think you need to have a conversation. I think start talking to him. See if what you learn more
Well, that's option one.
is even, if you're even going to like him. So,
In full circle now, my option 2.
You got 2?
Yeah, I said I have 2 options.
I want to hear it. Let's hear it.
So yeah, first one, fight for it.
Yep.
Second one, which isn't as fun, wait, watch them fail, and then go in for seconds.
I don't think you wait, because then you kind of look
But those are your
goofy.
2 possible options.
Just go for
I
one.
say the first one.
Go
but
for one. Start talking to
I got-
him.
I
See
got
if you
your thing.
like him.
You're right. I mean, but I see that there are 2 options. That's all.
Yeah. I don't think this is serious enough to have a conversation, and quit. Is a martyr the right word here?
There is a martyr. Don't be a martyr.
Don't be a martyr. Like, this person is not even your friend. There's no girl code you need to abide here. Could it make work a little interesting? Sure. But again, why let a random
Might be worth it.
coworker stop you from maybe having the love of your life?
Bravo. Hear, hear, cheers. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
And I'm scared for what the comments say on that. I don't know. Maybe we're seeing it really differently, but I'm excited for what you guys all have to say. Moving on, though.
There we go. We're going to go to number 4.
Foe.
Another one of this week's partners is Remy. I myself grind and clench my teeth at night, and the only solution that actually makes a difference is my mouth guard. And there's so many people out there that don't even realize they're grinding or clenching, and that's where Remy comes in. I've gone to the dentist and I've paid close to $800 for a mouth guard. Remy is 80% cheaper than what you can get from your dentist, and it is so much easier. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see some pictures of me completing my Remy impression kit. It got sent straight to my door. I mixed the materials, I took the molds, I sent it in, and I had my mouth guards back in a couple weeks. And you can basically try Remy risk-free. They have a 45-night satisfaction guarantee. So try it. See if you're sleeping better. See if you're waking up with less pain in your jaw and teeth. And if you don't like it, Remy's got you covered. Remy is for anyone dealing with nighttime grinding, clenching, or jaw pain who wants an affordable solution to protect their smile and say goodnight to jaw pain and headaches. Head to shopremy.com/FKS and use code FKS to save up to 50% off. That's 50% off at shopremi.com/FKS with code FKS. Give your teeth a break without breaking the bank with Remy. Thank you, Remy, for sponsoring this episode.
Number 4.
Hey, there we go.
So this happened years ago, and I'm wondering what you guys think I should have done.
Ooh.
I had this guy friend, let's call him C, who I was friends with for years. We kind of grew up together, and we lived in the same neighborhood. We used to do a lot of things together. He would come over and play with my brother and me. I used to go over to his house and talk with him and his brother, cook together. I helped him with his English homework, played soccer during the summer, overall, just spending time together. But one summer, our hangout started to feel different. I started to get the vibe that he was flirting with me. Ever since I met him, I thought he was cute, but never did or said anything about it. Anyway, one thing led to the next, and during the summer, we started hooking up. We were hanging out more often, but it was casual, no labels. I introduced him to another friend I met that summer. Let's call her D. Slowly but surely, I started to realize that C was a lot more distant with me, not rude, but different, so we stopped hooking up. Then I find out that D and him started seeing each other. It lasted for like 3 months, and then they broke it off. D never spoke to me about their relationship except casually mentioning that they were seeing each other. I didn't know what to do, so I did not mention we were hooking up before. I don't know why I didn't think it was pertinent. A month later, after their breakup, C starts flirting with me again, and I asked him if he was seeing D, and he told me no. I heard from my sister that D wasn't seeing C, so I took it as a green light to casually hook up with C again. The details have become blurry, but somehow D found out that I was hooking up with C. I did not tell her. She got mad at me and we stopped talking for a little bit. She would come over to my house to see my sister and would not even look at me. My sister eventually told me that D was mad because I broke girl code. Do you guys think I did?
Nope.
And where do you guys think I messed up?
You didn't break girl code. You messed up by not telling her you were hooking up with him when you introduced them.
Yeah.
Because technically she's the one that broke girl code, but she didn't know.
Right.
And you can only act on what you know. So, if you're introducing and you're like, hey, this is my friend, C, D could, think he's fair game.
But in the words of Jerry, did the friend, if she had known that C
was hooking up first,
if she knew that our Ryder was hooking up first, is that breaking girl code when they were not in a serious relationship, just casual friends hooking up? Because what we defined earlier is that it only matters if someone's dating or has been, romantic, let's say. That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
Well, if they're hooking up, that's romantic.
Yeah, but friends with benefits is a lot different than we're dating. So is it wrong?
That is very true. No, that is very true.
Is it wrong to hook up with someone's old friends with benefits partner that, the person that's your friend?
I mean, I think it just gets to the point where if you want to, if you have a friend who says, yeah, that we were just friends with benefits, it was casual, go for it. Because our writer didn't care. Our writer was like, oh, I guess, C and D are seeing each other.
But now it's the flip.
Whatever. I wish D would have known they had hooked up, because then she's going into it where it's like, I would rather, date this guy, even if my friend has been friends with benefits with him, because I like him. It helps to have all the information, because now you have this person who's thinking, that was my friend and she's hooking up with an ex.
Right.
Even though it was 3 months and also probably really casual. It's just, it's silly.
I don't see the problem with her saying right now, just an FYI, I was hooking up with him before you guys even started dating.
And I would.
And that's what I would say and put it into it. But it goes back to my same rules. All is fair in love and war until I say I do. And all this stuff with these girl codes and bro codes, I'm sorry, you want to be with the person that's going to be the right person. And if a person takes off and goes a different direction, they have to feel free. We live in the United States of America. It's free. We get to make our own choices and decisions.
You also just want to be a good person as well.
You're not being a bad person.
Sometimes you are.
Be. You could be.
You're not being a bad person.
You could be.
It's opinion.
By your logic, it's all fair in war until you say I do.
Right.
Justin and me are engaged.
Right.
And we haven't said I do yet, but we're clearly very committed to each other. If all of a sudden Justin started dating my friend,
yep,
that would just be okay?
I would say that you.
And I should still be friends with that person?
I'm going to say that you.
And that person wasn't a bad person?
I'm going to say that the fact that he met somebody else and he broke off the relationship with you, thank God it happened now and not later.
Did I dodge a bullet if that were the case?
Yes.
Yes, but it doesn't make that action okay. If he didn't have the same feelings, like anyone like in these situations, if you don't have feelings for that person anymore, that's okay. You're entitled to your feelings and attraction, but call it off. And
I always agree they should call it off first and take a breather and make sure, because when you go to one relationship to the other, at least you want to be clear-headed of the whole thing.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on this. I think this is definitely not
I can't wait to see
a breaking of girl code.
I can't wait to see the rules that everybody writes, because we're going to have a whole series of, it's going to be like the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah,
it's going to be a constitution.
I feel like I'm getting twisted up in a tornado right now. It is so case by case basis, as we see.
So
right?
who's the judge? Who's the jury? Who's the counsel?
The bottom line is you have to be happy in your life. If you being happy is dating a friend's ex, then that's your prerogative. But you have to understand that there's consequences, and consequences can be good. Consequences can be bad, but every action has an equal but opposite reaction. And so it's what you want to do. I personally don't date my friend's exes.
Not anymore. You don't even have to worry about that problem.
No.
You're done.
I'm locked in.
You're through.
But I never did. That just wasn't my thing. Some people don't care. Some people have your view. So it really is a choose your own adventure.
You know, I mean, I dated a girl named C, for lack of a better one, C, and I was probably 22, and I went out of town on business, and I came back, and my best friend was dating K was dating C.
I know. Letters, give us names, you guys, when you write in. Letters are hard.
And at the end of the day, you know, K and J, me with being J, we both sat home New Year's Eve, and he called me up and said, "Well, I guess you're not going out with C," and I guess you're not going out with C either. We called each other out, but I mean, I was seeing her in the very beginning,
And that's scummy.
It was scummy, but at the end of the day, we are still lifelong friends. C has never been heard of ever again, and our friendship survived it.
Well, it's a good story now.
Okay, moving along. Another one of this week's partners is Haya. How many of you out there have kids? If you're giving them a children's vitamin, what one is it? Because most children's vitamins are basically just candy in disguise. That's actually why Haya was created. It is a super-powered, chewable vitamin that's going to fill those common gaps in your kid's diet. I myself have tried Haya. Tasted great. I think even your picky eaters will love it. And you'll love it because it's non-GMO, vegan, dairy-free, allergy-free, gelatin-free, nut-free. And aren't you tired of battling with your kids to eat their greens? Haya now has a kid's daily greens plus superfoods, a chocolate-flavored greens powder designed specifically for kids, packed with 55 whole food ingredients to support brain power, development, and digestion. Just scoop, shake, and sip with milk or any non-dairy beverage for a delicious and nutritious boost that your kids will actually enjoy. So if you're ready to try it for yourself, we've worked out a special deal with Haya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. Claim this deal, you must go to hayahealth.com/FKS. This deal is not available on their regular website. Go to HIYAHEALTH.com/FKS and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults.
Number 5. Oh, you're reading now.
Number 5, a little ping pong ball back and forth. I'm pretty sure my bridesmaid slept with a groomsman at my wedding who happened to have a newborn baby at home. Do I tell the groomsman's girlfriend? My bridesmaid, Jen, and a friend who was originally a groomsman, Dave, were very close the entirety of my wedding day. As soon as we got back from the bridal party photos, Jen had Dave's suit jacket on, which I questioned her about early in the night, to which she just replied, "I'm just cold." And I gave her a very, "What are you getting into?" look. Backstory, Dave was originally chosen as a groomsman, but his baby was scheduled to be delivered the day before our wedding. So my partner and I decided to tell him not to come and to stay and support his girlfriend. It had been a very hard pregnancy. He received this as well as you could imagine after being essentially kicked out of a bridal party. However, he was insistent. He still wanted to attend. And after talking to him and his girlfriend together, who was very supportive of him still attending the wedding, we decided he could attend as a guest. So the reception continued and everything was amazing. It was the most incredible night for my husband and I. Every time I see one of them, though, the other is not far behind, and my husband and I both bring it up to each other, but aren't going to let it overtake our night. The next morning, we hear from someone that stayed in the girls' room. We had 2 3-bedroom hotel rooms for the bridal party, one for the girls and one for the boys. That Dave was calling Jen multiple times at 2 a.m., and one of the others saw him banging on the door, calling her name, but didn't let him in because they didn't know if, 1, Jen wanted him in there, and 2, she was very drunk anyways. However, there were multiple doors to get in, and he ended up inside the room. We let this go and were caught up in our post-wedding bliss, but when we got back from our little honeymoon, we went out for dinner with Dave and his partner, and the wedding night obviously came up. He retells the night of the wedding at the table as, "I kicked on with your family and friends in the room and then took forever to find my way back to the boys' room. I debated just sleeping under some trees at one stage, but eventually I found the room," or something along those lines, which my husband and I already know is a lie, And this brings back up the fact that this is a pretty fucked situation. So I message Jen and I say, "Oi, I've just been told Dave was in the girls' room at 2 a.m. the night of the wedding. Any tea to spill?" Her reply, "Yeah, I think he came in the back and I was vomiting over the toilet. Apparently everyone heard me and he brought me water. Oh, and he got his jacket and expensive sunnies off me, LOL. Me. How did he even know where our room was? Fucking special case, that man. He had never been to the girls' room. I know this. Her. He really is. I do not know. I think he might have followed the other girls because I left at like 11. And then she immediately changed the subject 3 times with 3 messages, which I replied bluntly to and left the conversation. That's all I've heard from her. We are now into the next day. My husband then messages Dave, and it goes something like, "Did you get a cuddle from Jen at the wedding?" Dave's side of the story started as, "It was nothing. I just helped her when she was throwing up, and then I crashed and left when the sun went up. Let's keep that on the down low, yeah?" Then the question of, "How did you find out? Who told you? No one else knows I stayed over, only you. We made a promise not to tell anyone that I slept over." So not only has Jen lied to me when I've given her a prime opportunity to come clean, but I will never get the truth out of her, and she has really shown her true colors. I was already unimpressed with how she was behaving with Dave because it's just inappropriate. People were asking if they were together even, especially since she knows Dave's situation and has met his partner. They aren't friends, but have met and spent time together. I've unfollowed Jen. I don't have time to waste on people that don't align with my morals or family values. But now I'm stuck. Do I tell Dave's partner? Do I subtly ask her if she ever got his jacket back off Jen? It feels so wrong not telling her. She deserves better, but my husband is in the camp of not wanting to be the one that causes drama, and he believes if he's done it once, he will do it again and eventually be caught.
I'm saying you don't really know what happened. Stay out of it. Not your issue. And I agree with your husband that if he is a slime, he will slime again. He will get busted, and it's not your issue. Stay away from it because you don't really know. And if you say anything, you can cause a wave where it's really not even appropriate.
So if theoretically, if you had walked in on them, undeniable,
Yeah.
red-handed,
Different
then
story.
girl code says
Tell her.
Different story.
tell them.
Yeah, I think like they're both telling
don't
the
know.
story of, she was throwing up and, whatever. There's no clear cut. Dave hasn't even admitted to his, his buddy, like, yeah, dude, we, whatever. Like, there's no admission of anything. So I think at this point, there's
Let it
nothing
go.
really to tell.
It's
Let it-
interesting because it does bring up another side of the code,
Okay.
which,
More
all the stories thus far have been dating someone's ex, but this is that other one we brought up where, okay, I know this person just cheated on this person.
right.
Do I tell them? And we've had that in the
We
past
have had this
where people are on the
conversation.
fence for a variety of reasons. And unless it really is going to impact your life greatly or cause you to be in a dangerous situation,
Mhm.
it's not bad to be the person that tells.
We don't know in this case, period. We don't know. So under the 14th Amendment of the Constitution,
Which is what?
bro code, girl code, we don't know the answer. We shut up because we don't know.
Yeah.
It's only conjecture.
I mean, I just don't think it's worth it to get involved at this point unless you do hear something. I think, you made the call of, I'm not friends with Jen anymore. I'm unfollowing her because clearly she doesn't align with my morals. Even if they didn't sleep together,
Mhm.
they flirted. There was things that I just found inappropriate. And that's totally fine. That's something you should do. But you don't have any proof. They have the same story. And I think you could do more damage to that family over potentially nothing. So it is a tough position. But obviously, if you hear anything else or get more proof, then yeah. If, any of the other girls in that room said, well, no, they did hook up. I
Right,
was
right.
there. That's a different story. But it doesn't sound like you have that info. You just have the info that he came in the room. Is that inappropriate in itself? Yeah. I mean, you could tell her that. Like, I don't know if they slept together or not, but I know he slept in that room.
Everyone can have their statement, but I just say stay far away from it. It's none of my business at this point.
That you could do, because that you know for certain. And that's what he's admitted. And he's even trying to hide that, but on the DL. But you can't say anything else along the lines of they slept together or whatever, because you don't have proof of that. But you could, if you and your conscience, whatever, want to be clean, you could ask her like, hey, you know, Dave didn't sleep in the guy's room the night of our wedding. I do want you to know that.
Okay. Everyone has their opinion.
Yeah.
You all got your opinions. We want to hear your comments.
I know. I'm going to be very curious to hear what you guys all think about the code.
It's crazy how much wild stuff like that revolves around weddings and the wedding night.
Mm-hmm.
It's
just
everywhere.
Crazy though. Out of all nights.
I'm just saying, I'm so over this code thing. I mean, you got to have friends. They're all friends. We met friends, couples get married, they have friends, and all of a sudden the couple breaks up. And the friends that have been friends for 5 years because party A introduced party B and they're still friends, all of a sudden you lose your arm because you lost your best friend. I can't hang out with you because my wife says no. I mean, dumbest fucking thing in the world.
See, we already said we'd keep hanging out, Jerry.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to haunt you.
Still?
Still.
Oh, man.
You guys are funny.
Anyway, so I really do want to see the constitution of bro code, girl code, because I just think it's just too.
I don't know if there is a constitution, though. I think it totally depends on the context.
It does.
I just want to get a match.
The code is context.
Here's my code. Be honest with your partner. If you're going to be done, say I'm done before you move on. And whatever, long as you're honest and say I'm done, then it's done. Then do whatever you want. Once that person knows that you're done, so they're not basing their life on you still being there. Be honest. That's my code. Be honest. Don't lie. Don't cheat. Don't steal. Have integrity, at least with whatever that you're going to be with that person. And be honest. End of story. It's say honesty, best policy.
Any other last thoughts on the code?
It's just, the code's messy. It's so situation dependent that
That's how I feel.
every single case looks so different that
100%.
It's one of those things where it's like a law that has to be applied, just not as a blanket, law. It's more, how much was the law broken here? The code.
There's a lot of nuance.
And then it's like, what is it's so messy.
I think rule of thumb, don't shit where you eat. If you can avoid dating a friend's ex, you should probably try to avoid that. Don't seek it out. Don't go after people that are married. Just be a good person. But like, obviously, if your friend has an ex that they're done. They're done. And you think this is the love of your life and you're willing to burn the bridge of friendship to date this person, then that's something you should probably seek
Assume
out.
the risk.
And, what if? Have no what ifs, as Justin says. So a lot of context.
So you're saying
needed.
Article B to Section 5C.
I mean, this is point, 2, subsection A, point 2.1 in A. Like, there's a lot here, but I know you guys are going to have thoughts. So please let us know what you think about these ones.
It's a fun one.
And come join us on Patreon. We've got another couple of these girl code and relationship drama type stories this month for Patreon. It's going to be good.
I didn't hear any bro codes in this thing, did we? We only had girl code, no bro code.
The code. It
The
can
code.
apply.
It's the code.
It's just the code because
The
you can
code.
insert
Okay.
any gender here. It's
Mhm.
the
Good.
code.
Okay. So that's it for our show for tonight. Thanks so much for your writing in, participating, and being a part of our family.
This is going to be a crazy one.
We're going to see you in the backyard. We're going over to Patreon,
We are.
and then we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.